The movie starts with a celebration and we see our main character, Yuki Hirano. People are celebrating all around him while he is standing there being sad. He has failed the university entrance exam. He later meets up with his girlfriend, whose name is Rihanna, in a classroom. He says to her that you must wait for me, I will study for a year and try to entrance exams again. But she does not agree, so Yuki gets sad and his friend tries to cheer him up. He joins his friends to go to karaoke. His friends tell him there are a lot of better girls than Rihanna. He gets excited and starts drinking and singing songs with them. Late at night when they are going home, he is sad again. He suddenly sees a promotional leaflet with a picture of an attractive female on it. He closed his eyes and reopened them, then he saw that it is about green trainee. And at that movement, he decides to enroll in a forestry training program. So he makes up his mind and decides to fully enjoy his life. He travels to another city. On the way, he is busy on a call. During the call, the signal quality becomes low and he gets off the train to search for signals. At this movement, the train just moves on and he is left behind by the train. His mobile also gets damaged by getting wet. He gets worried when he sees that the next train will come after 6 hours. Meanwhile, he sees a vehicle coming there and goes to it. An employee of Green Cooperative comes there. He sees a pit viper and catches it. They head out and the employee explains his routine and other things to him. They reach the corporation's building and Yuki attend the orientation. He looks here and there trying to look for the girl on the leaflet. The man heading orientation explained that this will be a 1-year program and that their first month will be basic training. There are a lot of people from different backgrounds present there, and they have to work as a team. After completing the basic training, they will be sent to different workplaces. At the end of the session, he asks where is the girl in the leaflet, and the presenter tells him that the pic is for illustration purposes only. So he becomes sad again, but he joins the training. He attends a class where the trainer questions him about thinning of forests, and he cannot answer. There is a student who studied forestry as his major and he explains thinning and its benefits. Later in outdoor training, another trainer tells the safety measure while working with trees. He teaches them how to secure the safety rope and how to tie a bowline knot. Another instructor explains the use and techniques of use of a chainsaw, like how can cut a tree swiftly and how can change the direction of a falling tree during cutting. During the demonstration, Yuki jokes around. He continues to explain kickback, but Yuki takes no interest and talks to a fellow trainee. The trainer gets angry and scolds him while demonstrating kickback. He is startled and gets wounded and starts to bleed, while the instructor keeps scolding him. At night, he calls his parents and talks to them. He wants to leave, so he goes to the instructor and sees a participant quitting. He overhears an instructor talking to Yuki Lita, the instructor who scolded him, and instead of talking to them, he sneaks out of the door to accompany the participant who just left. There is a girl in the instructor's room who tell them to not use the pick again and goes to leave. Instructor Yuki hands her his helmet. Yuki misses the leaving participant, and suddenly a bike stops near him and gives him a lift. When the bike stops at the station, he sees the girl is the one from the leaflet. Her name is Naoki. She looks at the picture and tells to Yuki, if this is why you come, then I am glad you are leaving. We get a lot of posers like you. She scolds him and leaves. On the back of her jacket, the name Nakamura Lumber Co. is written. Yuki tears up the picture from the leaflet, and when the train comes, he does not board it. He walks back to training with renewed aim and passion. The month passes and we see the class being handed the certificate for completing basic training. Yuki has also passed and is given the certificate as well. He has completed his training and gets assigned to Nakamura Lumber Co. in Kamusari, a very high and challenging area for practical work. He is picked up by instructor Yuki in a rundown vehicle. They go to Kamusari, which is a very beautiful village. Yuki takes him to his house. He shows Yuki the boss's house and tells him to go say hello. He meets the boss who is going to work and asks him to come along. He also gets Yuki along on the way. Yuki and the boss pray before entering the woods. It is raining when they reach the site, where a lot of men are working, and he gets pushed down the hill by Yuki and loses Naoki's pick in the stream. Later, the boss introduces him to the group. Yuki finds out that a lot of leches have bitten him and the group helps him get them away. On their way back, he wants to ask about Naoki, but he does not have the pick. At the home, while having dinner, Yuki and his wife, Miki, fight over wanting a baby. Yuki has major screw-ups while looking for food at night. Next day, he wants to run away and asks some kids if there is a bus stop nearby, but they laugh at him, calling him the leech boy. He meets the group of old women and inquires about the bus station. Yuki comes there and asks him what he is doing. The women tell Yuki he wants to go to town. Yuki lies that he wanted to get his phone fixed. Yuki is going shopping and taking Yuki along. He leaves his wife and boss's wife named Yuko at the mart and takes Yuki to a phone shop. Yuki goes out to meet some other woman, but not after threatening Yuki not to run away. In the village, while dropping off Yuko, Yuki sees Naoki and learns that she is Yuko's daughter. He also learns that she fell in love with a trainee, but then he left her. Many days pass and he keeps accompanying Yuki to work to learn. One day Yuki and Yuki come back home and see that the old grandmas are taking his jeep to go to a hot spring. Miki wants to try getting pregnant, so she asks Yuki to send Yuki somewhere else. Yuki sends him to go with Naoki. Naoki goes to school where she teaches and plays with the kids, and Yuki also joins them. An old man named Toshiro Yamane, who is the council head, comes there and Yuko introduces him to Yuki. Toshiro is rude and leaves. Yuki asks Yuko to stay at her house. The next day, Yuki successfully cut his first tree. They also chop a 150-year-old tree and take it for sale. They have a lot of profit. Yuki asks why they don't cut in a large amount, and Yuki schools him that we must be considerate about generations to come. Naoki brings food for Yuki and Yuki, which Yuki forgot at home. Miki has packed one for Naoki as well. Yuki and Naoki eat together and he asks her about his previous boyfriend and she scolds him. Yuki goes to collect his phone, which has been fixed. He sees that the other girl Yuki used to meet is now with someone else. Yuki receives a voicemail from Rina, who along with her research group wants to come to the village for research. The group comes and observes them working. When the research group members talk down the lifestyle of the village and its people, Yuki gets angry and tells them to leave. Yuki is impressed. Some days later it starts to snow in the village, and they have a festival meeting, and Yuki also joins. People of the village are wondering if someone from outside should be allowed to join. The boss argues that he is one of them, but Toshiro says he is just a trainee and will leave once the year is over. Even Yuki takes his side. The white snow melt, and the forest and the village become lush green. Yuki, and some children, including the grandson of Toshiro, Kenji, are out. Yuki tells Yuki that it is taboo to go into the woods this day as per their belief. The mountain goddess counts trees, and if someone is there they also get counted as trees. And that's how people disappear. Naoki gets there and asks them not to play with fire. The kids talk back, saying she will never get married if she acts this way. She gets angry and leaves. Yuki sends the kids to apologize, and Toshiro's grandson Kenji goes into the woods. Toshiro is not in the village. The village is alerted and people start looking for Kenji. Naoki wants to go too, but Yuko stops him and tells her to look after other kids. Yuki talks to her and says he will find Kenji. All the people enter the woods while leaving their tools outside. Dense fog starts to spread and Yuki says it is the goddess telling them to stay away. A female's hand holds Yuki's hand and he thinks it is Noki. The hand takes him deep into the woods and leaves him there. He sees some rice grain in his hand, apparently from a rice cake he left for Mountain Goddess earlier. As the fog lifts, he finds Kenji, who was saying bye to someone. When he looks back, they are way up on the mountain. He carries him back. People were losing hope when Yuki returned with Kenji on his back. The kid goes with his family. Yuki sees that a viper has bit Yuki on his ear, and he is taken to the hospital. Once he gets back, the council acknowledges him as a mountain man and allows him to participate in the Onbashira festival. Naoki comes to meet him and she tells him Kenji said he met a beautiful woman in the forest. She talked to him saying that 16 days are left before the completion of his year. The festival that happens among many villages collectively starts. He is going with his team to the top of the mountain when he receives a call from his mother. He tells Yuki to go up and he will catch up to them. Yuki tells him to get there before sunrise. His mother had called just to ask what to cook for him and he hurriedly cut the phone. He is getting late, so Naoki drives him to the team on mountain top. There they pay regard to the mountain goddess and chop a giant tree in the traditional way using axes. They then clean the tree to make a huge log and set it up on a ramp that goes all the way down. Yuki's foot gets entangled in a rope connected to the log. Yuki asks him to climb it and throw rope for him to tie a bowline knot. He rides all the way down with the log. Some days later he is at the station. Everyone says goodbye and Yuki even cries. He rides the train and then Naoki comes on her bike. He waves goodbye at her and leaves. In the city, he gets to the door of his house, but he sees construction work going on in front of his house. Seeing the wood, he has a change of heart, and he boards a train to return to Kamusari.